to two fighters who are half the size of Dylan Smith and Ramirez. There's a unification bout at 105 between Oscar Collazo and knockout CP Freshmart. That's the nom de guerre, as a bunch of the Thai fighters do. Although when I look at Freshmart's record, 25-0, 9 KOs, many years ago I decided that he should now be called unanimous decision CP Freshmart. This is a good fight, though. Freshmart is the longest reigning current title holder in boxing right now. He's had his WBA belt since June 2016. Collazo, meanwhile, he won his belt just May of last year. He's made 3 successful defenses. But he's 10-0, and he's one of those guys who's stepped up very quickly, scored some good wins, including when he won his belt over Melvin Jerusalem. I don't know how much the 105-pound weight class is watched in the UK. It's definitely not watched a lot in the US, but I think that is one of the fights that I'm most excited about, even though it's not two of the biggest names on the card.
We go back to Jesse Bam Rodriguez, don't we? And the whole idea of him being must-watch, which he is. And I don't think there's that many people, even kind of hardcore boxing fans, who there'll be a handful, and you'll be in that handful who will get excited for a fight like this down at those lower weight categories. And that is just because they're normally kind of technically very sound to watch, aren't they? And they're very fast paced, and everything is very quick within these bouts. But I don't think it'll get the majority of the boxing fraternity too excited, although it probably should.
You know, I think about guys like Chocolatito and Inoue, and they started off even lower than they are now. So maybe this will be the entry for people, but if not, at least you and I will enjoy it. There are 2 other fights of note on the undercard for Dylan Smith versus Gilberto Ramirez. One is William Zepeda, the top lightweight contender, against Tevin Farmer. This will be interesting because we've been wondering what direction Zepeda was going to go, and he's been ranked number 1 by all 4 of the sanctioning bodies. But this fight is for the interim WBC title, which would put him on course to face Shakur Stevenson. I know that they had tried negotiating and that fight didn't happen, but maybe if Zepeda wins, he'll face Shakur in 2025. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see how Zepeda does against top talent. I don't know that Tevin Farmer, who himself is a former title holder at 130, will present too much of a challenge, although he is a skilled boxer, so maybe that is something that Zepeda hasn't dealt with before. And then at 140, and this is something that should be of interest for UK fans, not for the fight itself, but for the implications, is Jose Ramirez versus Arnold Barboza. Ramirez, you may recall, was the unified title holder at 140 and then lost to Josh Taylor, who we'll be talking about a little bit later, in the fight for the undisputed championship. Well, Ramirez is trying to work his way back, and Barboza has been rated number 1 by the WBO for some time. The winner of this fight, according to that WBO meeting that I sat through the other week, could wind up being the mandatory challenger for the fight for the title currently held by Teofimo Lopez. But that could also that opportunity could also belong to Jack Catterall. So it'll be interesting to see who wins this fight and what happens.